Okay, side with all that laughing, I ain't never been a side bitch. Chopper hit his ass if that nigga be acting childish. All these bitches love me, but I swear they say the same, all the same. Swear to God, I'm the nigga never change. Pull up in the road like I'm next, bitch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 3, season 3.
Pumping these out like babies. Pump these out
That's
like
right.
a nuclear family.
That's
Weekly
right.
uploads.
Yeah, for real.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is Pineapple Papi. What's going on, bro?
What's up, brother? What's up? It's Pineapple Papi, aka Pineapple Snappy. That's the tag. All
Hey.
right, listen to it.
There we go. There we go. So, first of all, you just put a song out this afternoon, right?
Yes, sir.
Wild. I loved it.
Okay. Thank
It
you,
was
thank
one
you.
of it was one of those that I had no idea was coming, and Charles will usually play that shit. Like he'll show me shit, and it's
Yeah.
something I didn't see, and I fucked with it a lot. So let's get deep into this, okay?
Yes, sir.
So talk to me about how this all started for you, because you've been doing this for a long time, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah. Actually, it's a funny story. Like, I've been doing this for a while, like banging on desks. The whole rap scene, I feel like that it was so organic. I always lived around music. Like growing up, everybody in my family would be listening to music. Everybody would be just like blasting it, putting me on to different things. And I think it just kind of happened naturally. I drew towards the music, and then come high school, same thing. I was the guy. The reason people knew me is because I was the guy that was rapping over the guy drumming on the desk. And then finally, one day, I was chilling with my homie, Slim Fitty. In case you're watching this, hi, Slim. Oh, happy birthday, by the way. It's his birthday. Him, Charlie Benz, and Maddie. I got 3 friends, same birthday.
Maddie Means?
No, not Maddie Means.
I was like, wait.
No, it's not that
Shout out
small.
Maddie
Not that
Means.
small, bro. Shout out Maddie Means. All right, anyway, so, yeah, he just, one day he was like, Rick, you're hot. He messed me up with this, too. He was like, Rick, you're cold, but you're never getting anywhere. And I looked at him, and I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, because you're wasting your talent away. You entertain people, but I don't hear a song. I don't see you pushing YouTube. I don't see you doing none of this. And like that really kicked my whole, I guess, music career off. That's when it started. That was right around maybe junior year of high school. So yeah, like that was basically the beginning, and then that's how I met Wednesday. Shout out Wednesday. I went to the studio for the first time, and he was my engineer. He's the person recording me and stuff, because he had like studio downtown.
Yeah.
And then the rest was history. I mean, I just been making music since. Went through a couple name changes.
Talk to me about that.
Name changes. So I feel like, man, when people start music earlier, like younger, I feel like it's easier for them to, not easier for them to, but like it's harder for them to know who they are. So like at first I was Ricky Ricardo.
Right.
Then I was Ricky Cruz, and then finally, right now, I'm Pineapple Papi. Cause like as the time went on, I grew with the time, and I grew with the music, and I kind of like, just as I go maturing, I kind of went and this is who I want to be. Like this is how I want to perceive myself. Whereas in the beginning, I didn't really have an understanding of where I wanted to be or who I wanted to be. It was more just like I want to do music. So yeah.
So we're here at the present name, Pineapple Papi.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about where that comes from.
Hey.
Unbox that, please.
I really think that people want to know.
Unbox that for me.
It is a complete joke. I'm gonna be honest. That's how it, like the easy, simple story. It is a complete joke. Like Pineapple Papi, Pineapple Soda happened after Pineapple Papi. Like we were in the studio, and I was like, I think this was right around the time where, like the XXX Tentaciones, the all these crazy names, big names, we're sitting there, and people, I'm saying my name to myself. I'm like, man, this is corny. Like, who would ever listen to some kid like that? Like,
so you were trying to stay on the wave.
I was trying to stay on the wave because I needed something to draw people in. You know what I mean? I needed something to like really captivate. And like when you see Pineapple Papi, like it makes you wonder. It does, makes you wonder.
It definitely
From a
made me
naked eye.
wonder.
Yeah, like it makes you think. Like someone that doesn't know me at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you know
he
what I'm
told me today. This is what he told me today. He said, we're going to have Pineapple Papi in. I'm like, wait a second. Huh? So, and then he's like, Ricky Cruz. I'm like, okay, I know who that is.
Yeah,
I know who that is. Pineapple Papi. But had me thinking.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
You did your exact mission.
And then Pineapple Papi was more of like the guys and I like. Pineapple's my favorite fruit. By the way, shout out pineapple. Anyway, so like, so yeah, that just kind of like, what if I went and then Papi I got just from I'm Hispanic, like you know the guala, the Papi, the whatever.
I think it fits with what type of music you push.
Yeah, and you know it's
Absolutely.
funny. It was a complete accident. Like that's the funny part. It was just like. Pineapple Papi, like, just happened.
And you were just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, and this.
I'm running with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. No, I think it's cool. Like,
yeah.
I'm interested into, I guess. So I get the name. I understand where it comes from. Do you feel like strong enough within like yourself that you can kind of like the fact that you're saying that it's a complete joke, for me is like. It's interesting because I've never ever encountered anybody like that. That's like, oh, this is just a joke to because you're being honest.
Yeah.
Like for those people that aren't being honest, like what are you thinking about? Because people will just come out of here, do some fuck shit out the woodwork, and just go on the internet and they'll make a fuckload of money just because they're doing stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I have this weird name. Now I'm just gonna go make money. You know, all this shit, and they turn that piece of themselves and they make it like that's their only identity. That's their sole identity. And if you see anything outside of that, like it's either in a person to person like conversation, or it's gonna be like completely behind the scenes. What do you think about that? That's what I want to know. Is like, are you gonna be able to stay Ricky and understand that balance forever, or do you think like say this because like you're pushing something different now, right?
Absolutely.
It's a different type of
sound
absolutely. For you.
No, absolutely.
So like, how does that? I just want to make sure you're going to be able to balance that. You think?
And that's the thing too. Like, Pineapple Papi has grown a lot. I'm gonna be talking as myself in third person for a second. No. But Pineapple Papi, as a person, as an artist, has grown a lot. He's evolved a lot. He's changing, and like. This is going to sound really weird, but I use Pineapple Papi. It started as an accident, but it has become almost like my alter ego. It's actually, for me, just me personally, it's kind of like a relief when I get to stop being Ricky, you know? When I could just kind of like go on stage, go into the booth, and not have to worry about anything. I have a very overactive mind. I'm always constantly worrying about how, for example, like my little brother's doing, how his day is going, this and that. Like I'm always worried about like some little thing. I don't know. I just like my wheels are always turning. So like when I jump into this alter ego, not only does it give me a space to kind of just like breathe, but it also gives me like a special confidence. Like Ricky couldn't get in front of a stage and like kill that joint and flex, right?
I get that.
Pineapple Papi, on the other hand, is a different creature. He knows nothing but to eat. So like he goes out there and he's killing it. Like it's just it's a state of mind, and it sounds really weird saying it out loud. But like these are things I'm saying in my head. I'm like, it's time. Like this is me. This is what I do. And it's kind of like affirmations of myself. As for other people, I'm not knocking them because everybody needs to, in my opinion, it's all positivity. Like everybody needs to find themselves. And if they have to fake it to make it, so be it. I'm not going to knock anyone's journey. I've done a lot of mistakes and I've done a lot of things, in my opinion, more mistakes than I've done right. So, but yeah, it's all a journey. It's one of those things that they might not be the same person a couple years from now, but it's their process, you know? I'm not going to knock it.
All right, so let's talk about fake it till you make it. Because that's important. It's important now.
Super important around here, especially with a small audience.
Exactly. Because fake it till you make it has a lot of different layers to it.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of different people that sort of use to their advantage things. All right. You follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've seen the types of people that I will target when it comes to, like, for example, somebody coming on here and like I don't fuck with the buying followers shit. That's my big thing. I don't fuck with the buying followers shit. I don't fuck with the buying listen shit. And that shit, and that's where I look at fake it till you make it as a really, really bad thing, because it really separates what is actually real and what is not. And when I see some of those artists, especially locally, or not even just locally, just people who are start off so young, that fake it till you make it mentality turns into they're not even into it for what you were into it, where it's like banging on desks. It's just, we're going to fake it until we make it because it's a flex and it's money. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it loud and clear.
So how do you feel about that?
I feel like, and this is, man, it's really, it's a loaded question, because, not a loaded question, a loaded answer, because there's always going to be exceptions. You know, there's always going to be exceptions to...
Elaborate on exceptions.
Okay, exceptions being that there's an artist that is phenomenal, super talented, makes great music, but their image might not be there. Or they just don't have a certain quality that they're lacking. They're lacking somewhere else besides the music. So fake it till you make it, if you put it towards them, they probably won't be doing the followers as much, but they'll be doing it more for just gravitating people, because people, it's messed up, but in today's world, I feel like we're breeding followers nowadays.
Of
like
course,
we're not,
I do it all the time.
Yeah, like
I can sit here and I can look you in the eyes, and and he's seen me do this throughout this whole entire process. Just as of recently, I watch my Instagram like a hawk. And I watch what's happening to see who's watching my Instagram stories. Anytime I post anything about the show, anytime I post anything about what we're doing, anything like that, I watch that, and I know exactly what you're saying. It's weird for me, because sometimes that's just a blanket statement immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and I get you. And then that's when it jumps over to the other side. So we have that one side where it's like their intentions are right. I feel they just need that
extra
opportunity.
boost.
Yeah, they need that opportunity, that boost that they're not getting. You know what I mean? And then you have the other aspect, the other side of things, where you're completely right. It's a joke. It's a flex. There's no talent there. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why
I'm not even
like
necessarily saying that there's no talent. I'm looking at it and saying that it's like there's things that I see where there's like there's something there. Is it amazing? Yeah, but it looks like, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like it feels like they're just skipping that step of waiting. Especially for me, like that's so hard. Especially because I watch young guys who do wait, and they don't take that step, and it looks like it's skipping a step. But it's interesting to hear this perspective, because
I can add a little something. I can add a little bit something to you're saying. So with this social media stuff, you want to build a repertoire. You want to be able to build a a concise way of conveying yourself. Unfortunately, for people who have talent but don't have that extra little bit, they might be the best people. And there's thousands of those artists out there that are the best artists, but they don't get anything.
Yeah.
What I have noticed with social media, and this is kind of a funny thing, the more followers you have, the more followers you tend to get.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
So that repertoire is the amount of followers, whether they be fake or not, driving your own traffic. Because if 5,000 people are willing to follow you, if 10,000 people are willing to follow you, I'm more susceptible to follow you. So that makes sense. I 100% see what you're saying, but I really do think that it is pretty bad in a small area. Definitely very bad in a small area, because you can't delineate the real from the fake unless you really look. And 9 times out of 10 people aren't really looking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they get on.
I think it's hard
when they shouldn't be allowed to.
Exactly. I think that step sometimes, and it's very hard and to kind of differentiate between the two from what you're saying. And there's this gray area where it's like, I feel like, especially when there's people like you and I, right? When I started making music, like and I don't do this often anymore, which is why I do this. But when I was making music, I started doing that when I was very young. I started at age 13. I really started to push doing that shit. And I felt that, and I felt like that feeling that you were like, I don't really know what I want to do with this. I'm not sure. There's kids like that still have that feeling. I never was in a situation, I don't think, where I looked to somebody and I was worried about competition because of if they had enough bread, they were going to be able to take that extra skip a step to get ahead of me. Does that make sense? So it's really, really hard to like. Do you think it's a truthful way to encourage youth to become like musicians or no? Like how do you feel about that?
It's one of those things where. You're gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna be completely honest. It's like the YouTube principle, okay? You have a video, you search something. Are you gonna click? All right, say you have 2 videos on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. All right, you got one with 500,000 views, and you got one with 100 views. Which are you clicking? Honest. And then I'll keep going after my answer.
Yeah, same thing with the follower thing.
Same thing with the followers. So with that being said, it's a segue into my answer. It's more like I am gonna encourage them to get it by any means. If we live in a small town, which we do, in a small little place, shout out Lancaster, we do, and it's not a blessing nor a curse. It's what you make it. So like. If that's what you got to do, I mean, unfortunately, that's what you got to do. Everybody has their hustle. I try to be as organic as I can.
And I see that.
Yeah, and there's times where I do get promotion. Yeah,
I do, and and we've talked about that, and I've had conversations about that. SoundCloud can be a gray area. Promotions and repost chains can be a very gray area as well. Yeah, that's why when I look at stuff, when I'm looking at an artist and I see there's that one there that's like.
One has 100,000.
One has like 100,000. It's either like okay, maybe they bought that. Maybe it's a repost chain. Like
maybe it's fire song.
I see what you're saying though, because that's what's getting sucky though.
Here's what scares the shit out of me. Yeah. Especially being in this area and seeing kids who are consistently trying to make music. There's a specific example that I saw this summer. I'm not gonna get into any name detail, but. The numbers grew so quickly, so fast, so scary on all of the tracks. Yeah. To a point where the day before it was probably at about 2,000 and then it jumped to about 80K within a matter of 14 hours.
Oh yeah.
So like that those are the things that really scare me because when it's like an addiction, I think. Yeah. It can become can you at least agree with that?
No, absolutely.
It's narcissism.
Because
I don't think it's just that. It's just like I have this bread in my pocket. Like it's not that expensive to go out and do these things. Why not just go do it?
It's true.
No, absolutely. And I see what you're saying too, because it could, as an art, like I'm gonna talk as an artist for a second. Like as an artist, it is an addiction. Like you do want that affirmation of like I'm making great music. I want to see those numbers, you know. And when you don't see those numbers, it messes you up in the head and like stuff like that. And at the same time, it's like, man, this is like, oh man, like I get tongue twisted just thinking about this. This is like a real thing. Like people jump in it, and it's scary because you'll jump online and you're like, there's nothing wrong with promotion. I feel like promotion, if you got bread, promote yourself.
But I think paying to pay for promotion on things like Instagram is absolutely okay because sometimes you have to use that.
Absolutely, no, absolutely.
Fuck Instagram.
Yeah, fuck Instagram.
No. Let me expand upon that. Fuck Instagram. Not only for one reason, because it's making kids kill themselves. Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're being straight.
I'm being straight right now.
This isn't what we were talking about a couple months ago, where you were like, "Fuck Instagram" because I almost lost
my account.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Followers. Then let's go further. Fuck Facebook.
Yeah, no, fuck social media.
Fuck social media. It's not just Instagram.
But it's been doing it.
It's been doing it. It's like people see the flex and they want to get it by any means, and if they can't, it's like there's no other option, but there is.
Instagram is killing people. Elaborate on that. No, seriously, I want to know.
Okay, no.
As somebody, you know me. You know?
Oh, and I know you. And if you were not doing well at what you were doing, you would be depressed. Because of this Instagram shit.
Sure. I'll give you that.
There we go. Depression is one of the leading cause of deaths.
can you honestly say people would still know your name and you'd still be Papi? If it didn't exist, we wouldn't do it dark.
Out here? Like if in Millersville, people would know who I am, or are you saying just Lancaster in general?
I know they'll know him.
Know Ricky Cruz. Definitely know me.
I think they'll know me.
They all died.
I feel like it's so helpful though.
Yeah,
it's so helpful in the same sense of
right now. Are you saying like right now? Like right now, if everything just went dark. Sorry, I don't want to not explain to the viewers like why I'm just talking off camera. Charles Infamous is here. He will be making an appearance shortly. But,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Anyway,
so
yeah, I get it. I get it.
Instagram really is fucking people up.
No, it is.
Out of all the social medias, that is the one that's fucking people up the most.
But I feel like record labels don't even. It's gotten to the point where they don't want to. They don't. Excuse my language. They don't want to fuck with anybody that doesn't have numbers or doesn't at least have like their social media on point. People don't want to do work nowadays. Yeah. Like people just want a package. Yeah. Like people want it delivered to them. I feel like the '90s was the place where they found someone at a gas station.
Okay, pause. Right where you just said, they don't want to. This is what I'm trying to get at with the whole followers piece, and especially what he's saying in like such a small area, is that people don't want to go out and get it anymore because there's a difference between having talent.
It's too easy now.
And having money, and if you have and it's too easy instead of like, do you remember? This is gonna sound ridiculous because this is a show where we talk like R&B, hip hop. This is gonna sound ridiculous. Do you remember when that fucking Rebecca Black Friday song came out?
Yeah.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever like read anything about what was going on behind the scenes there at all? There was this one guy specifically who was, and this comes full circle.
Okay, I believe
there was this one guy who was essentially hunting down these like mediocre artists whose parents had a lot of money and overcharging them crazy amounts to like promote and like get these crazy videos done. And one of them was Rebecca Black. And another one of them was that girl that did like the stupid like My Jeans. Like it was a whole specific.
That's so smart.
It was like no, literally, yeah. It was literally, it was like the first like weird like Jake Paul Team 10 collective where it was like let's steal money from these people and then we'll just blow them up. That was the first time that ever happened.
Yeah.
So like that's like it's gonna happen regardless. But it's like now it's so easily accessible to do it without having somebody to go and seek those people out and be like, hey, if you want to get your kid famous, just write that check.
So
you know?
it takes about $10 to become a local celebrity in your own mind. That's really what these people are doing.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. The people who buy followers on Instagram, who are artists, who buy plays on SoundCloud, who buy reposts on SoundCloud, they're really just in their own head. They want to be a celebrity, and
is that a good mentality to have?
So every time they have to introduce themselves, they at least have something to say.
It's not the best mentality to have.
No, but it is a mentality.
But I wouldn't say it's a bad one.
No,
I don't think so.
It is a mentality
because like you speak it into existence. You know, like you have to. You're doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you're the artist, then you're introducing yourself as the artist. You go everywhere as the artist. You're speaking it into existence. People are going to associate you with being the artist. Now, the fake stuff, it goes hand like it's such a loaded answer, loaded question. Like there's no right or wrong.
Do you really think it is just a gray area, or can we distinguish a specific right or wrong? I think what's wrong is that if you're in such a small area, going out and buying those things only to capitalize on that area for your own personal gain, I think that's kind of fucked up. Because it's, in a sense, it puts you in this box where it's like no one else can get out. And if it's about something like, and I'm gonna go to you for this, because if it's about positivity, it's all about love. It's about spreading that. I think that really diminishes that a little bit. Because it takes away an opportunity for somebody who's so young to even get that shot and actually go and get that shot and know what it feels like and not be underneath that umbrella. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there's all these small towns and all these different places that have these umbrellas.
Yeah.
And it's so hard You know,
I think there is a gray area though. I can't say there's.
Yeah.
I can't say there's a right or a wrong.
Okay.
Because I can't. I can say some bad things about the mentality, and I can say some good things. So like it's one of those things where it's gray. It's as gray as can be. Like there's no right or wrong in my opinion, at least. Like it's something that some do it better, some do it worse, some but it differs from person, from mentality, from everything. Everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. And this is why I was so excited to have you on, because you and we've talked before. We had a long discussion, sort of in this.
Yeah.
And it's a different perspective than something that I would necessarily align myself with. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
And
we've been objective.
We've been very
most of the seasons.
But this is the things that you're saying towards this. I'm not necessarily saying, okay, now I'm open-minded, but I kind of have a little bit better of an understanding as to what it means to sit in that, because I think like you've been on both sides of the field. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Pause. I actually want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Out of all the people that we have seen do that, and we have seen quite a few.
A lot.
We've seen a lot of it. How many of them are relevant?
I think 2.
I
think
relevant to you or relevant to an audience? Because this is different. We're biased. We are very biased.
Relevant to like the area, or just like in general?
Relevant to the audience. The audience is anyone who's listening.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
Yes.
You create your own fans.
I can think of like one. I can think of one.
I can think of one or two.
Yeah.
One solid
you create,
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could even think of, I don't even know who y'all are talking about.
Right, but you know what I'm...
And I see the situation, and I could think of myself of people in like a similar situation where they have created a buzz for themselves, and is it, again, there's no right or wrong. Are they right? Who knows? Are they wrong? I don't think so. Like it's both ways, and at the end of the day, if you get 5-10 people to mess with you, you did something. You know what I mean? Like you created something, and they're relevant. True. Relevancy is just people associating you with your craft, in my opinion. If people bring you into conversation and say, for example, Pineapple Papi is a singer. That to me is like, I'm relevant because I'm getting called out for what I want to be doing. Now, if they said Pineapple Papi, the carpet installer, I'd be like, what are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all talking about?
There's our click. And that's actually perfect because we were about to segue into, segue into a new topic. We will be right back, and just give us 1 second. We're going to turn this camera back on. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and we're back.
We're back.
That's a classic. That's a classic Jane. Like that's a classic. This show. Like, and we're back because I say it. I think 6 times a show sometimes. The technical difficulties here, bro. Like
they're going down.
Like knock on wood, bro. But this has been a smooth show. But some of these have been.
That's because it's meant to be. The universe is coming. That's what it is.
So we ended off. We finished talking about kind of just what's happening with social media, all of that stuff, where we stand on that. I want to get into you, and I want to talk about the Ricky Cruz era, and then I want to know what happened with the break, because you deleted everything and you went ghost for like
absolutely.
How many months was that?
Oh man, close to a year. So almost, I'd say.
What happened? If you're comfortable talking about
no,
that,
absolutely,
like,
no, absolutely. That's the thing too, like. I got nothing to hide at this point. Like I got who I am. Where you see me is who I am. If you come up to me and show me love, I'm at the point where like I'll show you love as long as you're friendly. Like it's all love. Like it's all positivity for me. So Ricky Cruz. Like I said, it was more like just being young. I put it off to that. It was a great experience.
Just gritty, like
yeah. It was great to like know. It was like the bad father in your life. Ricky Cruz was that for me. You know, he taught me. You know what I'm saying?
When you come home from school.
No, he was like the bad father, because like Ricky Cruz, what he did for me was he just showed me what not to do. I'm blessed to have lived it and to have been embarrassed and to have performed for 10 people and to have, you know, all these little experiences, because it kind of puts a perspective on like how I do want to do things. So I put it off to just being young, kind of like I knew I loved music with a passion. I wanted to do it. I just didn't know where I wanted to go just yet. So that's that. When I took a break, it was because I was transitioning. I've always wanted to be a singer. That's like my diet. Chris Brown, shout out Chris Brown. If you're watching this, you're the homie.
I think he does.
Chris Brown. Yeah, Chris Brown.
A very avid viewer, constantly, actually. He's in the comments all the time.
Who knows? It might be so funny. Like, it might be so random. And someone come across.
Chilling.
How'd you guys know?
So this is like, I'm just giving y'all like super uncut, like what goes through my head. Like, I've always, from the gate, wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a voice. So what did I do? I did the next best thing. I learned how to flow like a son of a gun, right? So I started flowing on things. And that's where Ricky Cruz was like, I transitioned into then Pineapple Papi.
During that transition, just because I'm curious, who were you? What kind of music were you listening to? Like, give me like a top, maybe 4 or 5.
Drake, like the Baby You My Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to that. I'm listening to all the old like Run It, you know what I'm saying? Like all that.
Oh,
all
like
that,
Chris
like,
Brown Run It type shit.
Yeah, like I'm listening to that. I'm listening to Drake. I'm listening to
I'm looking
like
for artists. Like give me like. Are we talking?
Oh,
like,
gotcha. I thought you meant like
no,
song.
no, not song. Like during that time, like artists that you were listening to kind of really
Drake,
set you.
Breezy heavy, Drake heavy. Let me see. I think right around the time where I became Pineapple Schnavy was the Lil Uzi era and the whole freshman 2016 cypher. That's when I was like, I know what I want to do.
Because that was the first.
Kodak,
that was the
everybody. Right?
I know what I want to do with myself, and I love the music, and I understand. And I feel like people don't understand it nowadays. It's not so much a lyrical rap. It's feel good music. Like it's stuff you play. It's stuff you listen to. It's stuff you vibe with. And that's when I really was like that's what I want to do. I want to make that type of music. I want to make like stuff for the ladies. I want to be a singer, that type of deal, right? So that's what happened. And so like if I'm gonna say 3, all right, I'm gonna say 4 because Chance was heavy in my influence. It was Chance, Chris, Drake, and Uzi. Those are like the people I was listening to.
Would you put Uzi more of like where your sense of like how to kind of brand yourself came from? Is that where you'd put it at, or?
I wouldn't. Man, it's funny. I'd probably say yes, just because he's newer. He's like not the typical name. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's more in my lane, like in the lane I want to be, I guess, right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. He's an innovator of like how I became who I became. But yeah, like those were the people, and then that was like the basic process of it.
So we talked last episode about this new era of music. And if we should even be putting it into the same genre as...
Ooh, that's a great question to ask him.
Right.
Because it's a flip side. I love it.
Right.
Yes.
So
this is why I love Nick, ladies and gentlemen.
Thing. So we had a pretty interesting guest last week. His name was Ayo. If you get a chance, make sure you check out that episode.
Yes,
very
shout
interesting.
out
We
Ayo,
talked
for
about
sure.
our conversation with Lancaster Mayor. Whatever. Past that, he had some interesting insights saying that a lot of these... I quote, Lil Dippy, Lil Flippy, and Lil Trippy. Like all these people out here, like maybe we should completely take that away and start a new genre. Stop calling it rap, start a new genre. And what he said it was called trash. But what would you call that genre, that new era, and are you in that new genre or era?
I call it the wave, and yes, I am. I'm gonna call it the wave, and I yes, I am. That's just, it's a new generation of music. People back in the 90s weren't busting out. it's funny because like we hear stuff from like the 90s, whatever, and we're like, damn, that's so different than what we're doing. But what were the old heads saying about people when they were coming up? The same thing.
Like
so like
the blues.
It wouldn't be.
Jacksons are a great
it's
example
still
of that
rap.
too.
It's
Jackson.
still hip hop. It's just new, and it's unfortunate, but like you get cut off. Like sometimes your genre is over, and then this is the new. That's how I feel.
People
That's
are
just
scared
how
of
I feel.
change.
People
are
are
really
scared of change. So like I mean, call it what you want. I'm not knocking anybody. Like I don't listen to like I try my best to keep an open mind, but I don't like absolutely everything I listen to. It just so happens that I bang with this. This is how I am. This is what I do. But I wouldn't. No, it's still music. It's still rap. It's still hip hop. It's just new.
This art stuff is so subjective.
It is.
And that's
Yeah.
really what we're gonna have to call it, art.
No, seriously,
You know what I mean?
It's just art.
It's just art.
Absolutely.
It's just interesting
Yeah.
to kind of especially for you going to two sides. Not two sides, but like going from one to the other and making sure that you're staying on that path where it's like I want to make sure that like, and which is a smart thing to do, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock anybody for doing that. Do you think that break that you took for yourself to kind of figure out what you wanted to do, do you think that it hindered you a little bit in terms of like your frequent plays and everything like that?
I think it only hinders you if you let it. I feel like when you lose, just like my barber tells me all the time, I lose one, I gain two. One person walks out of there unhappy, two people walk in, and I try my best next time to keep them there. So it's the same thing. Like I might have lost the people, but what I've gained from that break, I don't regret 1 second of it
Because now you know who
because
you
I
are.
know who I am. And as a musician, yes, you're making music for people, but at the end of the day, if you're not happy with your own music, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? So
I agree
that's
with
how
that.
I answer that.
I think that's why I stepped out of making music in general.
Because you're too critical?
No, it's because I couldn't even
Mm.
feel comfortable within myself saying like this is what I got to do because I wasn't.
But you know what's
feeling it.
crazy about that? And we're gonna go back to that subjective nature of art. I think your music was crazy. When he told me that he was an artist and he sent me some music,
I'll
I
play
was like,
stuff before you leave.
is
I
this
got
this
you, brother.
is this? And Charles can attest to this. Is this the same guy? You've heard him spit over tracks, versatility, and yet you're in your own head. You're like, you know what? I think personally, if
7 years,
you
but
were to
still.
continue with music,
Yeah.
you would probably have taken it a little bit farther. I'm not saying you would be Dave East or you would be these.
I think, but what I'm trying to say with that though is
Both.
like I
Both,
understand.
honestly.
I understand what it's. I think you flipping this idea of who you are is you just taking a second to just, I guess, Did you want a clean slate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I wanted a clean slate. I didn't.
Because some people don't
Yeah.
necessarily want that clean slate. They just want to be able to transition, be
Nah.
somebody new,
I
and then just keep that.
I wanted a clean slate. I wanted to walk in and I wanted to be the new kid on the block. Like, how many times have you told yourself, man, if I could go back to high school right now,
rerun that.
I'd be the
Rerun
man.
it. Yeah, right.
I'd run that bitch, right?
I did.
That's how I feel about music. If I could go back and have the knowledge, the tools, the voice I have today, I would kill that. Well, guess what? I went ahead and did it. And like, yeah, I don't want any, like, by any means, I'm not like I'm not like pop, like super pop and nothing like that. But what I am is happy with myself. So that's that.
And that's something in terms of just life. Not a lot of people have been able to grasp. Something that I work on an everyday basis, and I know something that you work on and you work on, and just being able to sit down and I think say that for yourself, bro, just for you. I think that's that will never ever ever scare me as somebody who likes you as an artist, like that you're gonna fall off and not be able to pick yourself back up, because those are like, it's one thing to do something with like knowing who you are and with the roots, but if you like, it's like having a plant without any water. If you don't have those roots, you're just gonna die off and it's done. It's done.
Absolutely.
And that, I respect the hell out of that.
Thank you, bro.
I respect the hell out of
Thank
that.
you,
Interesting
thank you.
I really do.
perspective. Very
And it's
interesting
and I
perspective.
believe, and this is another one that might cause a little controversy, but the expression "you are who you surround yourself" by like who you surround yourself around or whatever. However you say it.
Yeah, who you're surrounding yourself
you are
with.
who you surround yourself with.
There's, it's not 100% true.
I agree with that.
But it is for the most part. At least for your work ethic and how do you think, it's true. If I surround myself, shout out Charlie Bands, he's here. You can't see him, but the man's fire. And Wednesday too, like shout out my man Wednesday. He's doing things super heavy.
Make that happen.
Yeah, you got to make that happen. Yeah, because like these are the people I surround myself. Sama, these whole team of people. Kurt, Living Lawless.
Yep, Kurt.
All
Titus.
these people, Titus, are so hungry and like. By any means, they're not like up there in double X, nothing like that. But what I respect and what I admire about these guys is that they'll call me up in the random and say, Rick, show me something new. And if I don't have something new, they're going to reel into me. Not to be a dick, but to be a big brother because they know the talent. They know the talent I have, so they keep me accountable. So at the time, like, it is what it is. And, like, I love my people, and I'm very blessed to be where I'm at, you know? So that's that.
And I honestly, bro, like, and that, it's so true.
We see that in every field. We see that with us.
I see that with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We see
Dog, let me tell you something. And you know, you and I keep pointing off camera.
Everyone's gonna be like,
everyone's gonna be like, what the?
There he is. There he
is. Honestly, I'm not dressing the same as I used to, and
no,
like.
People grow.
You know, and I think that's a good thing.
People change. People grow.
So, you're giving me singles. I'm only getting singles from you.
Oh,
what's the next project?
What's happening? Talk to me. Project. What's up?
I was testing the waters as this this new identity of mine, and I actually have something in the works for the people.
Ooh.
I have an album coming, 6 songs. Plus the ones that are already on SoundCloud, but like I have 6 new original like songs.
Are you gonna go full platform release on this one?
Full platform. This one, that's the goal. That's the goal, and I'm trying to hold myself accountable. So I'm gonna say it on camera. That's the goal. 6 new songs.
He said it. He has to do it now.
Now I have to do it because I said it. Yeah, y'all can't call me a lot. I have it. Yeah. No, I have it. Yeah. No, I have.
What happened with Ivan when he came on the show? What happened? I said to him, I gave him a deadline. I said to him, I was like, you need to promise me within the next 2 months that you're going to drop something. What did he do within the next 2 weeks? And he did it, and I was proud of him for that. And that is why I like having you here, is because I believe that you're ready to go.
No, and I have it, and the crazy part is like, I need to be held accountable, and I'm finally comfortable with myself that people aren't going to be ready for it. Like, I don't think people are going to be ready for what I put out. It's definitely not something that you're going to compare to something around here. It's something you're going to be like, wow, like this kid really put in the work. They might not even recognize me. So that's how I'm feeling. And the confidence is there. It's not cockiness. It's just confidence. I feel like you said, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm ready. So
he's got a Shaq West type. No, like I'm not saying the vibe.
No, but like
no.
He's got a joint on there that's like
yeah.
I'm excited. You know what I mean?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
We'll definitely be listening when it drops.
For real.
Absolutely. Y'all gotta chop me up. If y'all don't like it, y'all gotta. I expect that.
You best believe you'll be getting some feedback.
Listen,
absolutely.
I gotta be honest. I was very interested to see how this interview was gonna go, because of, like we said, you know, you are who you surround yourself with, and I have now. Okay, it's not lagging anymore. Anyway, I've now gained a new perspective, I think, as to the people, who you are and who you surround yourself with, and I want to give you just the credit of being able to stay humble and being able to stay balanced, because there's kids out here that I can't have a conversation like I just had with
100%,
with you,
the culture, man.
without the, you know, where it's like just gonna be like, you know what I mean, where it's like
people are sensitive.
Yeah, people
are sensitive.
I like that a lot,
and there's nothing wrong with that. There's subjects where sometimes I'll get, but like I feel like with anger, nothing really gets resolved.
Yeah,
100%.
Hell yeah,
100%.
Like, just if you don't like something, you don't have to. No one's sitting here with a gun to your head like, you gotta like this. You just be honest and give your reasons why. Don't just get angry and then stand there with no objections towards it. So
You know,
Fair.
I don't think we've ever had anyone on the show that has spit something that was not knowledge.
No, for real. And that's why I think that comes with making sure we're getting the right people in here to talk.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think
Cream
that's
of the crop.
exactly.
Pick 'em.
Exactly.
You definitely have to.
Well, listen, Pineapple Papi, you gotta track a project coming soon.
Yes, sir.
And thank you so much for coming on. Anything you want to say before we hop into this next segment here? Any shout outs? Anything you want to?
Any shout outs, man?
Drop?
I feel like I've been shouting them out, but I'm gonna do it one more time. First and foremost, I'm gonna shout out the homies. I'm gonna shout out Wednesday. I'm gonna shout out Curtis, Sama, Laddie Moran. I haven't even talked about my big bro, but that's the homie. I shout out all these Lancaster guys. Charlie, happy birthday! You guys, thank you guys so much for having me. And
absolutely.
One more. I told my little brother, he's only 10. I told him I shout him out. So shout out Jacob. If you like Fortnite, my man's the GOAT. So go follow him. He's Dark Wolf on YouTube.
Oh,
Dark
so
Wolf
lit.
Y2.
So lit.
Or YT, my fault.
That's so lit.
But other than that, thank you so much.
Young little content creators.
I like that.
I love it.
I'm breeding something crazy. He's like, I got him under my wing. And I'm like, no, bro. You like what you're doing. You see these guys.
Keep it
you
up.
can do it.
I like
you can
that.
do it.
Keep it up.
Well, dude, thank you. Seriously.
Thank
and
you
we're
guys.
going to hop into our
appreciate
next segment right here, and then you'll be back on in a second. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
bro.
That's a weird angle.
Appreciate it.
All right, Joe. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Got a great friend of the show here, Charles Infamous, stopping by. Look, I'm going to just throw this at you because you hit me up. I'm excited. First of all, huge shout out to you, man. Huge shout out to my brother Sam for putting out a crazy video.
Hella talented.
Coop. What was that? Yeah, Coop to a Benz. That shit. The effect when it went literally from a coupe to a Benz. I was like, me and Sky were watching. We were like,
hit the gas.
Yeah.
Don't crash.
Oh,
hit the gas.
Funny thing about that, not a lot of people know, and I'm going to put it in here because I know I'm not going to get any credit for it, but for some of those don't crash shots, we were driving the Kia to the left of that shot. So
yeah, true.
So I provided
James
some of the gas
famous.
for this. Yeah, it's fine. No, it's no big
He
deal.
was there.
I basically produced it. No, I'm totally joking. Shout out to my brother for just going crazy on the visuals.
He killed that shit.
So the reason why we talk about the video is because you're dropping a project soon.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Don't crash.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm
Are
ready.
they ready? Because I've heard it.
No, they're not ready.
What's different?
Because the video I just dropped is like, they're the only 3 like full length rap, and when we split them up for the video, that's not even the full songs.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only like 3 full length rap songs on the projects.
Mm-hmm.
So this shit's gonna be a whole different.
I've heard this.
wavelength.
Nick,
top to bottom.
Nick, I've heard this tape top to bottom twice.
I did
And
the splits. I did the splits on it. The production splits. I made 91% of it. So production wise. So shout out Vendor, Zeev, and Toland because the beats they have on there are crazy. In their segments. So
any specific features on there that you wanna
No
preface?
features.
No features.
That's so
I
important.
heard that. I heard
but
you
people
tell
who
me
listen
that.
to it are like, who is this? And it's me. So
Okay.
literally, there's some points on it
Good.
where you might be like, oh, like what's he doing?
There's pieces from there's been, and we've talked about this before. There's pieces from you that I'm like, dinger, gone, right? And there's ones that'll sit, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
That's an album.
No,
Fillers.
I'm not talking about the album. I'm talking about just him in general. But this thing is like
Top to bottom.
after hit after, and that's any sort of bias aside.
It's only
that
9
thing
tracks. Only
is,
9
like,
tracks.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
What's the
for
average
this.
length of a song?
I'd say like 2:30. I kept it short because literally everything's like everything transitions into everything. You'll hear it.
Yeah, the rule that you came on the show and we were still doing this in Nick's
By the
apartment.
time this is out, it'll probably be
it'll
out.
be out.
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
be
it's
out.
on.
Absolutely.
It's a word I can talk about.
Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? You said something about like 7 tracks is like the best. You said something at his
And we
apartment.
did talk about time.
Yeah, 7 tracks, only
took
X
it to
amount of
9.
minutes.
It took it
Less
to
7
9.
tracks, less than an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's roughly like 24 minutes about.
word.
So, but it's like, it's a ride. It's a trip.
Yeah.
Basically, that's why I called it "Don't Crash" because every song's like an emotion, whether it's paranoia or like the feeling of love or the feeling of like being disconnected with somebody or the feeling of like you don't know what's gonna happen next, and it's like the don't crash, and everything flows together like that. I tried to make everything flow together, like it's just an emotional roller coaster because I feel like it's all shit that I've been through. So, like
it's a real personal project.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it shines through. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Vibe wise, I tried to fit like my personality into like each song as far as like the emotions I've been through.
Yeah.
Bar heavy or like lyric heavy.
There's a lot of mixture. What do you think?
Cause like automatic's bar heavy. So I talk about like why I do what I do, and like I said, old heads like want to call me a mumble rapper, you know, because I've like, you know, I've been in conversation with people who listen to old rap and they went on my Spotify and they heard Monroe or they heard Young God and they're like, you're just like all these other new fuckers. Like, who are you? And I'm like, but you didn't listen to like Kinfolk. You didn't listen to Paid. Like, you didn't listen. Like, I can rap my ass off, but I'm just, exactly. I like to turn up sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm a human. Like, I'm more, like, I'm not, some days I'm angry, some days I'm like.
The old people, I feel like their dimension was rap. Just rap. You go outside of rap, you're ostracized, and
there's something for everybody on here.
Rapper. But
there's something for everybody.
In fairness, when the mumble rap thing started coming on, they were genuinely mumble rapping.
That's facts.
Mumble rap. When he first started, Designer, mumble rap.
Do you remember?
Designer's hot though.
Yeah, right.
Designer's
exactly.
hot.
But do you remember the first? Was that Designer or was that? No, it was Young Thug's Lifestyle. Was the first time that ever.
Young Thug definitely inspiration to this project.
Good.
For real.
Really?
Michael Jackson as well.
I see it.
Yeah. Definitely J. Cole too.
Yeah,
J. Cole definitely inspiration.
Well, dude, thanks for hopping on to just do a quick little promo.
Guys, go listen to that shit.
Yeah,
if you ain't listened yet,
Don't Crash.
Go
is
listen
out,
to it.
December 15th. Make sure you guys go check that out. You want to hop back in here? Really quick?
Pineapple Snappy.
Got the whole team here. I love the fact that we can just stay right there in frame. Yeah. So. One of y'all sit down. Yeah. I love having people here. I love this spot. Yo, do me. Here we are. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, everybody that's been watching, thank you so much once again. Pineapple Papi, thank you for coming. Charles Infamous, thank you for coming.
It's definitely
Nick Levin, as always, it's always been real, bro. Ladies and gentlemen,
another episode.
This has been episode 3 of season 3, and we are out of here.
Can you
mustank
that handshake?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Shawty on that wild shit like she emo. She so childish, no Gambino. Shawty come through and she give me that deep throat. I don't wanna leave though. Hot 97 like Ebro. 69 at Takashi. It's another hit with Papi.